Hey guys, this is Cam15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another Bleach Arc review. Now, I knew, no, I said I'd be doing episode reviews, but just to save time, and probably it's just a better route to go, is I'm just gonna do arc reviews for Bleach. So here's the second arc review. I know I lied, yada yada yada, whatever. Let's continue on with the Bleach story. So after the ending of the substitute Shinigami arc, man, with that cliffhanger, which I thought it was a good start to the series, very intriguing, had great integral characters that become a focus, and then you had the plot twist at the end with Rukia being taken away and pretty much being Porcus D Aced, aka executed, for pretty much breaking the law, and everything. And then you have Ichigo training and him becoming obviously a Soul Reaper now. I mean, in his own way, but this is when the story picks up. And now this arc apparently is like a very huge arc, like very, very long arc. And that is the Soul Society arc, which in a way, it kind of honestly, this arc so far from what I watched, it kind of so far, it legitimately kind of reminds me of the Ennis Lobby arc from One Piece, where if you don't know what happens in the Ennis Lobby arc, the events are kind of similar to where the Straw Hats have to save one of their own from pretty much the world government, which how in this, which pretty much it's like it's the in a way of I guess you could say it combines elements of the it combines elements of Ennis Lobby arc and the Marineford arc and stuff like that. So yeah, but like I said, it's kind of a combination of those two One Piece arcs. So me watching One Piece, it's like okay, it's very damn interesting that okay, second arc, we're already getting to this point, and man, this arc was good. Now, like I said, this arc is split into two different parts. The first part of this arc is called the Soul Society arc, the sneak entry portion of the story, and then the back half of this arc is called the Rescue. So yes. Now for this video, I'm only talking about the sneak portion. Obviously, that's what the thumbnail even says it too. But this had so many damn eventful moments. Mind you, I'm not even having notes. The only notes I took is just the remembrance of characters. I'm just remembering these key story points that were very integral to the story. And I'm just giving you my thoughts and everything where this can go. Mind you, I am a blind Bleach viewer right now. I'm watching the anime completely blind. I don't know what to expect. The moment I got to episode 42, that's when I stopped. So, and I forgot to make the mention in last week's video. I should have did this to make this a lot more better for people to go off on. But I'm getting most of these episodes and chapter list of like where these arcs are structured from this site called listfitfist.com for Bleach. Now, just to go cover the Agent of Shinigami arc, for the manga chapters, you start from manga chapter 1 to manga chapter 70, and for the anime episodes, you go from episode 1 to episode 20. Now, for the Soul Society, the sneak entry arc, you start on chapter 71. Yeah, and you start on chapter 71. And everything for that, and it ends off at chapter 117. So for the manga people who are reading the manga, now for the anime, you start on episode 21 and it ends at episode 42. So hey, or 41, 42, it doesn't matter. It's kind of that range area and stuff like that. So it ultimately doesn't matter. But for just the sneaking parts, just to get into this whole thing, there is a bunch of crazy shit that just happens and goes off the rails. So let's get into it. I'm not gonna go, I might forget some things and stuff like that. Again, put that in the comment section and remind me. But anyways, when Ichigo, Orihime, Chad, and Uryu finally get to the Soul Society area, the area of the Soul Society pretty much looks like a feudal Japan era. It really reminded me, I guess you can say, of when I was watching Inuyasha. That's really what it reminded me of, watching Inuyasha, because at the time it's looked like it took place there. You know, feudal Japan, where it's like you got these little wooden huts and everything, and stuff like that. And you know, you just have some people, some districts like poor, some districts are wealthy, but obviously the most wealthy place is where pretty much the main members of the Soul Society live in, where these captains and lieutenants and all these other positions, for being a Soul Reaper, pretty much live in. And that area is called the Serite. And like I said, it's like the best, richest districts. Now they get up to the gate and they're trying to get in, but you know, you have this gatekeeper that says that they can't pass and they got to do it. Ichigo ends up showing off his strength to defeat him. Again, reminding me again a little bit of like, oh, it was just like when, you know, when Luffy went to NS Lobby and beat the first CP 9 guy, which was Bluno, and stuff like that. But even then, still then, it's like, my God, what the heck? So yeah, they managed to frickin', and because he lost, he manages to open the gate for them. He's like, well, you beat me fair and square, so you can open up the gate. And then that's when we're introduced to one of the first captains we see in the story, and that is Gen Ichimaru. And when I saw this character, and the more they go into this character, he is a sus MFer. I don't know what the hell this guy's game is, but I know this guy is doing something behind the scenes that is very damn shocking. And I do not know what's going on. And even to go on to that point, you know, after he pretty much kicks Ichigo out and Ichigo somehow survives from his attack, this guy's pretty much, you know, I guess you can say put on trial by the other captains, and this main lead old guy with this long beard who looks like the freaking, like every other old man we see in this in anime in general, with long beards and stuff like that. They pretty much go on and say like, listen, you did something that you were not supposed to do. You were not supposed to attack. You were not supposed to do anything. I understand you had the right intentions at heart of keeping the freaking, they call Ryoga out, but you were not supposed to draw your sword, pretty much. So we're gonna have to decide what type of punishment you're gonna get, and that's the whole thing too. Also, at the same time, the Soul Reapers are also moving up Rukia's execution timing a lot sooner, and she goes to this pretty much this pillar to where eventually she'll be executed and stuff like that. Now, the one thing about the different the different captains of the you know, these Soul Reapers, they all have pretty nice, cool, unique like designs. And they're not all too damn different from one another. That's the one thing I do like, some diversity in the traits, and you know, they look absolutely different from one another. And that even leads us into the next portion of this arc. In the beginning part of this arc is when Ichigo and company, they run into Ganju and everything, which is a funny bandit. You get kind of a back and forth, like a butting heads type of thing with him and Ichigo, only to then, you know, when Yoriichi comes back, pretty much Yoriichi says, listen, I found this person that can help us out. And we find this character named Kakeru, who at first, you know, when I first saw him, like, you know what? Kakeru is kind of a snack. I'm like, am I gonna start? I'm like, every one of these freaking Shonen Jump animes I watch, I'm like, why are these girls whole snacks in here? I'm sorry, Orihime's a snack in here. Freaking Kakeru's a snack. And man, when I say Kakeru's a snack, she is a snack. She's a whole snack. And plus, her outfit's very revealing. Like, I was like, oh my goodness. Yes, please. And you know, Rangiku shows up, who I haven't even seen or doesn't know if she does anything badass, but my goodness, Rangiku, she's already my waifu of the series. You know, there's so many different designs, and so trust me, I pretty much like all these chicks in the anime. Stuff like that. We even see Yoraichi's human form, which we all know Yoraichi's hot too. Um, I'm trying to think. Uh, Kiyoraka's lieutenant, she a snack too. Even though she's not as revealing, she's a snack too. But whatever. We can talk about Bleach anime chick snacks. Maybe I'll do a freaking tier maker list of my co-host the Red Wolf, and we can talk about hottest Bleach girls and stuff like that. Now don't get me started. Now I'm not gonna go after no Yachiro, not no Yachiro, unless she gets older and stuff like that. I'm not going after no Yachiro, and I actually do like her character. She's actually adorably cute. um but anyways, we get introduced to Kakeru, and we end up finding out her brother is Ganju, which is the funny dude. And we kind of get some more backstory to these characters, and it's kind of a tragic backstory. The fact that their father used to be a Soul Reaper, and they don't really like Soul Reapers, especially Ganju the most. He hates Soul Reapers, and we pretty much find out that their father was a Soul Reaper. Or yeah, their father, yeah, I think it was their father. If not, correct me. I think it was their father or their brother. I forgot what it was. um Shit, I should have, whatever, I should have wrote this down. Correct me, it's either their father or their brother, that was a Soul Reaper, and he did everything, but he pretty much was killed. Now we later find out, by the time you get to the end of this arc, is you find out that it was Rukia that killed Ganju, their family relative. We just don't know why. We legitimately don't know why she did that. Maybe she was told to do that. We don't know why they said. We don't know who sent her on this mission. It could have been Byakuya that did it, because he, especially when at the end when he goes up against Ganju, he's like, "Oh, I remember who your race is," and he didn't seem particularly like he liked that. So maybe he sent um Rukia on their family relative. I don't know. That's a mystery that needs to be solved. And trust me, in this arc, there is a bunch of mysteries that, my God, I have no freaking idea where the story is going to go. But it's actually a fairly tragic backstory. You can actually understand why, okay, this guy does not like Soul Reapers, and even his sister Kakeru don't like Soul Reapers. But the thing that kind of makes it different is they see how different Ichigo is from the typical Soul Reaper, and they make the mention like, yeah, some Soul Reapers are good, but some of them are mostly conniving, selfish bastards that really don't give a damn about the common people and stuff like that. They only truly ultimately care about themselves. And it's up until Ganju realizes when what Ichigo's purpose, why he's here, the fact that he's here to save Rukia, to be a way to pretty much, because he pretty much said, like, she saved me, I want to do something for her in return and stuff like that, because it's only right. I don't want to give up on her. I didn't want to turn my back, so I wanted to come save her, and pretty much this is my way of repaying everything she's done for me, which I thought that was really nice. And again, I don't know what this whole shipping thing is going on, but I definitely, for right now, as of this moment right now, I especially know with Renji and Rukia, I know that's a crazy backstory, which I'll talk about later. And it's like, I can understand why some people ship Rukia with Renji, but for some reason, only 2 arcs into this series, I'm like, man, screw that Rukia Renji ship. I actually like freaking Ichigo ship with Rukia. Again, I don't know where these ships go. I don't know what relationships go. Again, obviously the 2 top characters that you can, at this point, if you're watching alongside me, you can ship alongside Ichigo is either Rukia or Hime. Now, personally, right now, I ship more of freaking Rukia with Ichigo right now, because this dude is going out of his damn way to pretty much take on damn near an army to save her from being executed, and stuff like that. So. Anyways, because Kakeru does fireworks. She can be able to fire them up into the sky, fire Ichigo and his friends up into the sky to be able to get into the Seriton and be able to make a break in to go save Rukia. Now, this comes out another little training thing they gotta do is they gotta essentially control their soul power and make like a pretty much an orb. Now, the others pretty much all handle it fairly simply, and they actually get it done faster. Now, Ichigo is the one that has the most trouble. Eventually gets to the point where he does concentrate after Gajin. Gaju shows him. And because of it, it's the whole thing there that his soul power starts like expanding and getting stronger, and it looks like it's about to be some sort of gigantic explosion. Now, this arc goes on to make the mention that Ichigo has some sort of strange power, that this guy is not normal. He's got something. So this has something to do with his origins. And we even know in the last arc, he was always hinting like, this guy is a weird one. He's like abnormally strong for some damn reason that we don't know. And there's even another damn mystery which I'll speak on later, and stuff like that. And actually, I forgot to go back about the Gen part. Also, the thing is, again, another thing about, or actually, I can go into this now. So another thing about this Gen storyline is around Captain Eisen. Now, only Eisen I've ever heard of is this guy who some people deem as like one of the greatest villains ever, if not like one of the top, like the top best. Like if you watch Bleach, 9 out of 10 times if you watch Bleach, this character, this villain named Eisen is gonna come out, in your top 5 villains. So we see this guy, Captain Eisen, and apparently he has some doubts and some suspicions about Gen, and everything. And even we have it to where the one other captain, the short kid, or the short looking guy with white hair named Toshiro, he even kind of listens on this discussion, and he's kind of having his wonders about what's going on and stuff like that in here. And it's like, very interesting. Very interesting. So anyways, like I said, going back to the Ichigo's thing, they master the whole thing. They end up getting into the Seriton by breaking through. And the thing is, they are supposed to stick together, but they end up breaking them to 4 different parties. Yoriichi is off on his own. Uryu and Orihime go off on their own. Chad goes off on his own. And then Ichigo and Gaju go off on their own. Now, Gaju and Ichigo, they kind of have their little fights in a way. Nothing really to talk about extensively, but it goes to show that these guys are no jokes, because they all individually have their own issues. Now, it isn't until they get to the later stages of the arc with, like, for Chad and Ichigo, and even Gaju later on when he goes up against Byakuya, when they go up against the captains, it's a problem, because even Yoriichi, he says on the way there, like, listen, if you go up against Dan Captain, y'all ninjas need to run, because they're on a whole nother level. So we're already built up to know that the captains, they're on this level that that these characters now, they should not even bother and stuff like that with, which makes the moment between Ichigo and Kenpachi a lot more great in the landscaping of the things. But anyways, they split up. In Uryu and Orihime, they end up encountering like a lieutenant or something like that, or an officer. They pretty much handle it in their own way, and that's kind of what we see in terms of what they're going. But the thing is, they end up, they're pretty much okay, and stuff like that. And they pretty much are pretending to be in the Soul Society to try to trick people, or try to trick the enemies how they can get in and find Rukia quicker. But all of a sudden, we saw one of these weird looking captains show up from the freaking walls, and he overhears them. So I'm guessing that's going to be a battle that's going to take place for them in the rescue portion of the arc. So I'm definitely intrigued to see where that goes. In terms of Chad, Chad ends up Chad ends up handling on his own 2 feet, and he ends up taking it on until he comes across the captain, Kyoraka, who looks pretty much like a samurai, which again, I actually like his character a lot. It's funny because he's kind of that nonchalant type of captain. He gives me freaking he gives me the one admiral from One Piece, so many damn characters in One Piece. Crap. The one lazy laissez-faire dude in One Piece. It's okay. Fujitora. I know Green Bull just showed up. I forgot his name. How do I forget these guys' name, bro? Whatever. He's a laissez-faire type of guy. Whatever. So he's kind of just like, oh, really? I don't want to do this, but I gotta do what I gotta do. And stuff like that. And again, he's also very flirtatious with his lieutenant, which I find hilariously funny because it's like, hey, you might as well be flirting. Now she looked like she ain't down for it at the point. It looks like she just teases. It looks like she just is like completely rejecting him. Like, I love the whole thing where he shows up and she's throwing the flowers and then he's like, hey, you can stop with the roses now, the flower petals now. I don't need it no more. I'm about to fight now. And she's just like, and to the point she throws the entire flower bag on him. And the thing is, we see Kyoraka, he's pretty much like, listen, dude, I don't want to do this, but you leave me with no choice. Just turn away now, and I'll turn a blind eye to this, and I'll turn a blind eye to you. I legitimately will turn a blind eye to you. And the dude is, and obviously Chad is like, no, I'm coming here to save Rukia because she's here to save me and everything. You get more flashbacks between how him and Ichigo's relationship is, and kind of the dependency on each other and everything. And Ichigo has a lot of confidence in Chad and everything to win. But yes, it's a swift, easy defeat that Chad has to Kyoraka, to the point when I'll talk about the Kenpachi fight with Ichigo. It freaks him out to the point like he's like, what the heck? But Chad is still alive, even though he looks like he's dead, but he's just barely hanging on now. The lieutenant wants to finish him off, but Kyoraka is like, no, there's no need to. Just send the healers to come get him and then just put him in a cell, because with what's going on, it's the thing. And that kind of goes on to the whole thing, which honestly, before I talk about what Ichigo's like whole path to getting to where he has to get to, is pretty much this. Now, there's a side little story going on in terms of the Soul Reapers and what's going on there. Now, because this whole issue being happening, the fact that Ichigo and his party came in, this pretty much has it to where they're just going to delay whatever punishment Gen's going to get entirely. So he's pretty much free. He's pretty much back to what he's stationed at, which is just being a captain, and he has to defend. Also, at the same time, at this point in time, the main, I guess, boss of the Soul Reapers, or the captains, pretty much said, listen, even captains can have their swords drawn on at all time and stuff like that. So we have it to where now that Gen's free, that leads everything into craziness. Now, a little bit after after the Renji Ichigo fight, which I'll go into in a bit, in a minute later, we're introduced to this girl named Momo. And she's really worried about Renji. Now, I don't know if she has some sort of feelings for Renji. It looks like to me she has more feelings for Eisen, Captain Eisen. Now, apparently, she's Captain Eisen's she's Captain Eisen's lieutenant, and pretty much she goes over to talk to him, because the thing is, Toshiro actually talked to Momo and said, hey, listen, you might want to watch out for Gen. I don't know what's going on, but something's not right. Something feels suspicious going on. I just want to tell you to keep your awareness up. So she goes over there to pretty much explain any questions to Eisen that she has. And she doesn't really answer anything big and anything. She just kind of talks to him and is enjoying a nice thing. She ends up falling asleep. Eisen ends up leaving. Next morning, she's walking around. She gets up. She's walking to this meeting that she has to go to. Lo and behold, she turns around, and apparently Eisen is dead, and he was killed by somebody. She screams out. She thinks it's Gen right now, which I guess you can say at this point I would agree. the leading suspect in this. But I don't know what to expect from this. I was like, what? He's dead now, and I have no idea with what the hell is absolutely going on in this story. What is going on? What is going on? So she tries to attack Gen, but Gen's lieutenant, I forgot his name, but he's blonde hair. He protects him. He's like, listen, Momo, don't make me do this. Listen, I understand your frustrations and everything, but he is my captain. I have to protect him. And she's just like, get the fuck out the way, dude, because I got to kill this guy. He's the main culprit for killing Captain Eisen and everything. And he's the leading suspect. To the point, she draws her Zaketsu, and activates its abilities. I mean, to the point, eventually Toshiro comes in and pretty much is like, listen, you two are arrested because you're breaking the laws here. With everything that's going on here, you guys are fighting with each other. And he tells them, listen, the first thing you should have did is you should have just grabbed Captain Eisen's body and just took him down and stuff like that. So, yeah, and then, she gets arrested. She gets taken away, as well as the one other, Gen's lieutenant gets arrested too. We don't know. I haven't seen him where he's at and stuff like that. But you have it to where Toshiro has a talk with Gen and pretty much is like, you were going to kill her, weren't you? And he's like, oh, well, it's a thing. So again, right now, the leading suspect of whoever killed Eisen is Gen. And that's one of the mysteries still left. Like, we don't know if this is some sort of facade or something, but I don't know. Eventually, we have it to where Momo gets a letter left by Captain Eisen, and Rengiku gives it to Momo, and she's like, here, I went into his quarters thanks to Toshiro. We were able to go into his quarters. We found this letter for you. She reads it, and we're left off with this cliffhanger of like, she has now learned everything, like what is ultimately going on and stuff like that here. And of course, we left off on a cliffhanger. We don't know, but she gives a shocked expression like, what the hell's going on here and stuff like that. And that's where we kind of left off with. So yes. Craziness. I don't know what to expect from Captain Eisen being dead, or Eisen being dead in general. I don't know who did it. So far, like I said, the leading candidate is Gen. I don't know. So I just feel like we can get some crazy plot twists with whatever this is going to go. Okay. Let's get into the Ichigo stuff. Okay, and then I can get out of here with this video pretty much and stuff like that. So the Ichigo stuff is after he defeats one of we see Kenpachi's men, he ends up walking and they end up meeting this character. He ends up running back into Ganju, and he ends up meeting obviously this one new character who has been kind of the caretaker of Rukia for the person, which I'll find his name in a few seconds. I'll be back real quick, guys. Okay, back. So they Ganju and Ichigo end up meeting the caretaker Rukia, Haratoro, who has been pretty much the main person that has gotten to know Rukia, and Rukia's kind of told him some things that she did in the real world and everything. And at this point, he just felt so bad. He's like, she doesn't deserve to die for this. Like, I think this is too much. And even I'm like, isn't this a little bit too much? I'm like, okay, she broke the laws. I understand they may be very bad, but in the grand scheme of anything, it's not like it was that bad and anything. So he's like, listen, I want to help you, because he ends up finding out like, oh no, she was moved to the execution pretty much prison to be ready to be set to be executed and stuff like that. And he's like, you know what, I couldn't stand by this. I want to help you guys, and I know where she's at, so I can take you to her so you guys can save her. So I do like Hanatoro. He's a character that that can realize that what's going on here is not right, and Rukia doesn't deserve to die for this, and he wants to help, even if he knows like, I'm gonna be a traitor, and stuff like that. And I'm more than likely, if I get captured, I'm gonna get killed myself. But I want to help these guys save their friend because they're going out of their way to do this. So this is when we get the second fight between Ichigo and Renji. And this fight was crazy good. Again, something that you need to go watch this fight. It definitely lived up to the second thing. And even before this fight started, when they have a focus on Renji, they have a focus on Renji, the fact of because you have these characters acting like, hey, you're not gonna make any what or they ask Renji, like, so what are your thoughts on this? You don't have any doubts about what we're doing to Rukia, because we later find out that him and Rukia are fairly close. So we do get some backstories. And stuff like that. In the show, some of them are mini backstories, with Renji kind of being the longest, but regardless, some of them are mini backstories. Which the only backstories we get are Renji and Kenpachi. So Renji's backstory is the fact that he was pretty much living out in this poor district, and eventually he lived out with these other kids, and then Rukia shows up to help them out. And him and Rukia started to grow a relationship, a bond, a friendship, and everything. And you can tell, like, from the bits and pieces, this dude clearly likes her. Because he thought like, oh, she's a badass, she's cool, and she's cute at the same time. And stuff like that. And the thing is, they have soul power, so they could potentially be soul reapers, but they realize, listen, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to leave you guys. They're going to stay together. So we get a time skip when they grow older. And the thing is, Rukia tells Renji, like, listen, I can't do this anymore. I physically can't live this lifestyle. We need to become soul reapers and everything. There's nothing else to lose. And we find out that they actually lost all their friends. We don't know how their friends died, but their friends died over time. And I'm guessing it's must be because of the living environment. Because they're living in a poor environment, they pretty much have to steal food to survive and everything. So they end up enlisting to the Soul Reaper Academy. And the thing going on there is they're kind of treated wrongly, or Renji gets treated wrongly because, well, he comes from a poor background and everything. But more time passes and everything. Renji ends up passing a second exam to help him further become a Soul Reaper. And that's when we get the scene. We walks in and we see pretty much we see the family line that Rukia will be pretty much adopted into. It's made, that's kind of the thing. Byakuya's there and everything. That's when she tells Renji, like, listen, they offer to adopt me into their family, and I don't know what to feel and everything. And Renji, he pretty much kind of reluctantly says, hey, it's okay, that's great, they're very prestigious, family and stuff like that. It's really freaking good on you for doing that. And I'm trying to find this person. I'm trying to find the Kuchkis. He's pretty much saying, like, listen, the Kuchkis family line is very prestigious, very rich. You'll be living in luxurious. You'll be even better than what you already were, and you'll be a Soul Reaper on the start. Good job. And that's when end the battle after pretty much Ichigo defeated him. He's realizing, like, I should have grabbed her hand. I should have comforted her, and I should have told her, no, you don't have to go if you don't want to do it. You don't have to join the Kuchiki family. They're not going to do anything that will force you to be there and stuff like that. And he kind of regrets this whole notion of, like, I should be the one to help save her. She's my friend. It's a person I care about. And I really do like this backstory that they gave to Renji, because it really goes through. And I think it reminds me of this other backstory too, and I love these backstories to where you have these two characters that are friends, they grow very close. And the thing is, one of these characters lets the other one go and walk their own path, and they know deep down it's probably not the right decision. They don't want to let them go, and they don't speak up and say, hey, no, I want you to stay with me because I don't want to lose you. and everything. Like Renji realizes he should have spoken up, and he goes on to make the mention to Ichigo like, this entire time I've been training to get stronger, to be stronger than Byakuya, so I can save Rukia and get her back and stuff like that. Which, like I said again, this brings up this whole Renji Rukia ship type of thing going on. I definitely ship it, but again, right at this moment, I ship Ichigo and Rukia. So yeah, it was a really good fight. It was a really good fight. You know, you have a moment where Ichigo's trying to protect his moves and stuff like that, but then he starts falling short, but it's crazy, man. Good fight. You need to watch this. But pretty much Renji pretty much asks Ichigo like, please save Rukia, and he's like, I will, and stuff like that. So I feel like after this arc is all said and done, if Renji joins Ichigo, or how, I don't even know how they're gonna blow this whole thing up, and stuff like that. I definitely see that Renji and Ichigo could definitely be rivals slash buddies, pretty much like a Goku Vegeta type of thing going on here and stuff like that. And so, anyways, because the fatal wounds that what's his face suffered from, pretty much we have it to where Hanatoro, he heals him up. They end up going back, and that's when, you know, you get the alert so the captains can attack. And this is when you get introduced, and this is when we get introduced to Kenpachi, who was already established earlier in the arc, because the one guy that Ichigo beat at the start, he's like, listen, you want to avoid my captain because he's looking for you and he will come after you, especially if you're the strongest in your group. And we see throughout the arc till we get to this fight, Kenpachi's just like, who's that strong one that keeps saying? He even gets, you know, word from his own guys like, oh, I'm very interested. So he shows up, and my goodness, when Kenpachi, they do a great job at illuminating the threat that is Kenpachi. Like, they feel his freaking presence, and they're just like, what the frick? And we even find out, like, when you're under this strong, immense, like, you know, soul presence that these characters are exhibiting, if it's so much that you can get these like characters to damn near pass out, if not freaking just be like fall down to the ground and be weak in the knees. Pretty much that's how crazy strong these like presences can give off. Like, my goodness, you know, it's insane, dude. It's insane. So they're running, and the thing is, Kenpachi shows up. Ganju and Hanatoro, they go on to try to save Rukia, while Ichigo, he fights Kenpachi. And the thing is, Ichigo is so damn terrified of this guy. Like, he's just running. He is just running. Like, he isn't, he when Kenpachi attacks, he just kind of on the defense, and then he just dips and he's running. And he doesn't know how he's gonna fight this and everything. And he's just gonna like, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell, what the hell, and stuff like that. But eventually he musters up some courage to fight. And the thing also too is he can't cut him. But when he does get a cut off, when he actually starts to take the fight a little bit serious, he then lets his guard down where he gets impaled and it looks like he's dying. He goes back into his soul world, and the spirit of his sword is like, listen, you need to freaking, what do you want? Do you want to die? Do you want to live? Or do you want to win? And pretty much, you know, Ichigo's like, I want to win because I'm staking everything to save Rukia. And this guy's like, okay, well then, here you go. He gives him this weak bladed sword, and we see this white Ichigo copy take, you know, form, and he's the one with Ichigo's sword. And pretty much the essence, Ichigo's master of the sword is like, take it from him and get it back. And they have a fight, and it really gets to the point where Ichigo has to have confidence in himself and needs to have a bit of much more trust in his sword and understand the sword. Like, this one white Ichigo be pulling out techniques and stuff like Ichigo never even thought of. Like, he was spinning his sword like the one guy, the first guy Ichigo was fighting, where he had the three like dual bladed, you know, tip thing, which was like, I'm like, this guy's got a bunch of different techniques. I'm like, man, Ichigo, you got to use some of these techniques and stuff like that. But Ichigo managed to win the fight against his copy, and he managed to go back to use it, go back into the fight all healed and everything. Now, the interesting thing about this tidbit is, this is what Ichigo's like, he's very strong, But I'll be back. I don't know what that means. Is this some sort of threat? Is this evil Ichigo some sort of going to be some antagonist in the future? I don't know. But he made like a threat. He's like, I'm not going to be gone. I will be back. And when I'm back, oh, it's going to be trouble. So I don't know what the hell this is going on. This is one of the many mysteries about Ichigo, and I'll get into the last mystery of Ichigo before we end the video off here. But he gets back. He pretty much has now belief in his sword to the point, him and his sword are working hand in hand together. And he just comes up and he has a determination. Again, some of the aura stuff is great and everything. Kenpachi is like, oh, now I get to see the real you. He takes off his freaking eye patch, which has like actually been siphoning his power. He lets it loose and they start clashing and everything, and they have this one final clash and everything. And the thing is, Ichigo ends up winning, even though it looks like Ichigo fell, but Ichigo ends up beating a captain here. And you get a moment between Kenpachi and Yachiru, where it's a very emotional moment because it looks like he's dying, but the thing is, we get a backstory to this, and we kind of find out he's kind of just a guy that was always fighting his entire life. And the thing is, he doesn't know his sword's name, and plus he doesn't rely on his sword like Ichigo in the fight relied on his sword to help him win the fight. Like, he thought that was weak and everything. And it was very emotional when he was like, I just want to get stronger, damn it. I want to get stronger. I want to understand my sword. I want to get stronger. And it's a very emotional moment. And the thing is, he also found Yachiru when she was younger, like maybe a toddler in a way. And he took her in and stuff like that. And it's just a very sad. Kenpachi is one of my favorite characters so far. Next to Renji, with what I've been seeing, he's one of my favorite damn characters, and stuff like that. Right now, like my top 3 characters in this arc so far that are new were Ganju, Kenpachi. Kenpachi was my number 1, and then Renji. If I could rank him, it's Kenpachi, Renji, and Ganju. Great stories, great things going on and stuff like that. But the thing is, Yoriichi comes across Ichigo. Yoriichi takes him back to this area to hide out. Now, Ganju and Hanatoro, they end up getting to the prison, and they end up finding Rukia, and they end up setting her free. That's when Ganju's like, well, I know you and everything, and Rukia knows him too. And pretty much that's when we found out that Rukia killed Ganju and Kakeru's family relative. We don't know why. We don't know the reasoning. That's the whole thing there and stuff like that. And things like that. Now, that's when Byakuya shows up with his presence, and he's about to fight them and everything. Now, Hanatoro wants to give up his life for Ganju to get out, but Ganju steps up to the plate and is like, no, I'm not. Now, Byakuya doesn't want to waste his time on Ganju and stuff like that. But when Ganju tells him of his origin, that's when he's like, oh, you know what? Actually, I think it's better that you do die. So yes. Now, in the meantime, with Ichigo and Yoriichi, Ichigo has been healed by Yoriichi, but still badly wounded and needs to rest a bit. To prepare and everything, but he sees that, and we get some interesting tidbits. Now, we even found out earlier that Hanatoro found the mask on Ichigo, and in a way, the mask kind of protected Ichigo from the dangerous attacks Renji was giving Ichigo in their fight. Apparently, Hanatoro threw it into the sewer lake, and when freaking Yoriichi's like, yeah, I found this mask here. And Ichigo Shuki's like, but Hanatoro threw it into the freaking sewer water. And Yoriichi's like, really? And Yoriichi's like, I don't know what this is, but it definitely protected you against your fight against Kenpachi. So, so the thing is, Ichigo's like, oh, okay, I guess I might as well keep it. It must be a good luck charm or something. But Yoriichi's like, no, you need to give this to me now. Now, I don't know what the detail with this mask is. We saw it after his training with Uehara, where he, broke it and put it on the side. I don't know what this is supposed to mean or anything, but this mask must not be good. It must be something weird because again, it looks like a hollow. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Maybe this has something to do with Ichigo almost damn near turning into a hollow. I don't know. I do not know. But that's another mystery that we're kind of left off on. Also, too, the one thing about Yoriichi that I was always wondering, like, I always knew about Yoriichi. She's a chick, she's a girl. I'm like, wait a second, it's a cat, and it's speaking in a guy's term. So Yoriichi transforms into the Yoriichi that pretty much we all know in this series, and Ichigo is shocked that it's a girl and everything. But the thing is, when she takes cat form, she has a guy voice. But the thing is, you get this badass moment where Ichigo shows up right before it looks like Byakuya is going to do something. Again, the good badass music that plays in the background. He shows up, he fights Byakuya, and Byakuya sees that he's a lot, better a fighter because he can actually block his quick stepping and stuff like that. But the thing is, he ends up about to use the same technique he used on Gaji to take him out. All of a sudden, that's when Yoriichi shows up, blocks that attack from happening, knocks Ichigo out, takes him back, and everything. And that's where you get. Also, just to go on the thing, there is a nice reunion moment between Ichigo and Rukia, which they act as if they freaking not seen each other. They started bickering, arguing with one another again, and I'm like, you're in the heat of the moment right now, and you guys are arguing. Like, it's funny how these two, you would think they would do the typical thing where Ichigo or Rukia hugs each other, and they're like, "Thank you for coming back," and Ichigo's like, "I'm here," and stuff like that. No, they don't do that route. He starts yelling. He pretty much starts giving her the sass, and she's like, "Oh, please, you need to shut up," and everything. I didn't want you to come this way and stuff like that. It's funny comedic stuff between the two. I definitely did enjoy it. And I'm definitely doing that, but she can clearly see that she's concerned, but at the same time, she sees that he's made improvements. But like I said, Ichigo shows up, or Yoriichi shows up, takes Ichigo away, knocks him out, and pretty much tells Byakuya, after escaping Byakuya, which was still a badass scene, the way she was doing all that. And we find out she hasn't fought for 100 years, because after she gets back, she lays him down. She is exhausted. She's like, I haven't fought for 100 years in this body. My God, it's tiring. Which is crazy to even think about. And she pretty much tells Byakuya, come back in 3 days and he'll be ready to fight you and stuff like that. And in the meantime, we have a new captain, which his name is Jushiro, who Rukia is, under. Pretty much, he says, listen, me and my squad we don't want to see what will happen to you, and we're against you getting executed. We'll do all we can. So we'll heal your friend and stuff like that. And yeah, that's kind of it. So far, we know that there's one captain that thinks this is an injustice, mostly because of what the hell is going on, and stuff like that. And this is captain, he hasn't been knowing what the hell's been going on, because he tries to stop Byakuya for doing what he's doing. But Byakuya's like, dude, have you been hearing what's been going on? We have the right to do this. And he's like, what the frick? Because he's more shocked at the fact that Eisen's dead and everything and stuff like that. So yeah. But anyways, after Ichigo wakes up, Yoriichi pretty much tells him, listen, you couldn't take him on even if you wanted to. That's why we're going to train you for the next 3 days. And pretty much the arc ends off with Yoriichi training Ichigo to use this thing called Bankai. Now, even before I even watched Bleach, this was a term I heard, Bankai. I don't know what this means. I don't know what Bankai is. This must be something to help Ichigo get stronger, and maybe that's something that other captains also use. But this is very interesting. But altogether, the Soul Society sneak portion of the arc was really damn good. Had some really damn good mysteries where you have left off on cliffhangers of like, what the hell is going on here? What's going on with Eisen? What's this mask that Ichigo has? What's this? What's that? Craziness. What's Bankai? It's insane, dude. This was a really good setup arc to what I think is going to be a very eventful next back half of this arc in the Soul Society arc rescue portion of it. But that's just my thoughts. I did like Ichigo's growth from fighting like going from what stage, like fighting just a common foot soldier to then a lieutenant to then a captain. So he's gonna have to defeat more of these captains and stuff like that. So it's gonna be very damn interesting to see where the story is going to go. But I'm definitely liking where Bleach is going so far. This stuff is eventful, and I can't wait to see what's going on next. But anyways, guys, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts on the Soul Society sneak portion of the arc, as well as hit the subscribe button if you want to get more Bleach content that I upload to the channel, or any other anime content I upload to the channel. Anyways, guys, let me catch you guys in the next video. Until then, guys, peace.